Outside of exit 13 on Interstate 290 lies Kelley Square. For many Worcester natives, Kelley Square is one of the many unofficial cultural landmarks within the city of Worcester. From online memes that critique the rules of Kelley Square, to bumper stickers that proclaim a person's survival story. Despite its questionable reputation, Kelley Square has become the new site for potential smart growth due to the construction of Polar Park on Madison Street and the opening of the Worcester Public Market on Green Street. Nonetheless, this raises some concern if Kelley Square can adapt to smart growth within the next couple of years, and if the Worcester Public Market can promote small business venues around the city of Worcester. In the early 20th century, Kelley Square at the time was known as Vernon Square. Around this period, the Hotel Vernon and the Vernon Theater quickly became popular entertainment venues within Worcester. According to Duckett, the Hotel Vernon served as a speakeasy during the Prohibition. Furthermore, Mass Food and Wine say that the hotel's speakeasy served as a secondary community for most Worcester natives. Outside of the Hotel Vernon, Salter states that the Vernon Theater operated as a silent movie theater and was known for attracting blue-collars during its short period of operations. After the First World War, Vernon Square was renamed to Kelley Square to dedicate the life of Cornelius Kelley, a Worcester native who died a mere month before the war's stalemate. By the early 1940s, Semon states that the city of Worcester proposed the idea of implementing a rotary to ease out traffic around Kelley Square, yet this never came into fruition. A decade later, Semon states that the city of Worcester installed traffic lights around Kelley Square. Yet again, this created more problems than solutions. By the early 21st century, Kelley Square would continue to remain the same until recently. With the construction of the Polar Park ongoing and the opening of the Worcester Public Market, this raises some questions if Kelley Square is eligible to adapt to smart growth within the coming years. To gather some further insight on the Worcester Public Market, I conducted an interview with Dominic Mercurio, the Executive Director of the Public Market. Given the circumstances of the pandemic of COVID-19, we agreed to conduct the interview through a phone call.
Yeah, I'm the Executive Director, so it's my responsibility to make sure all the vendors, the tenants, are happy and productive, doing well. That our team of people that work here, our floor managers and everybody else, are again all happy and doing well and productive for the market. That the public is pleased with the offerings of the market and what we do to serve the community. So I basically have my hands around a lot of stuff here at the Worcester Public Market, and of course I have to make sure Alan, our owner, who's very active in the neighborhood, is pleased with how things are going here too.
Okay, that's good. We'll move on to the second question here. How does the public market benefit small business venues around its location?
Oh, the great thing about the public market is it's a grouping of ethnically diverse, culturally diverse, food-oriented, mostly food-oriented businesses, some that are not food-oriented. And they're all in the same place. They're all in the same venue. And it's as one business, as one building. The Worcester Public Market is a destination for shoppers, for people who are interested in food and culture, to come and have a sampling a viewing of all of these different entities and businesses in one place and at one time. So it's very convenient for all of the members of the community to be able to experience cultures and food from different cultures all in one place. And on top of that, it's a inside destination. So it's someplace that people can come, rain or shine, snow or otherwise. They can come here and enjoy food and items from different countries throughout the world, and just make it part of their lives. And it builds a neighborhood too. It brings cohesion to the neighborhood. The Canal District has been a pretty vibrant section of Worcester, and now with the Worcester Public Market open, it's even becoming more of an attraction. The whole neighborhood, not just the Worcester Public Market. People come to the Worcester Public Market, they have to travel through the Canal District, and they see other things in the Canal District that are of interest to them as well. So this market serves the whole entire community, the whole area. I kind of liken it to New York City, a small version, minor version of, say, New York City. And you've got different parts of New York City that are attractive to people, that people go to, Greenwich Village, places like that are known for certain types of businesses, certain cultures. That's kind of what the Canal District is striving for, and I think is becoming right before our own eyes. And this market, I think, is really helping to accelerate the image and the culture of the Canal District.
Well, that kind of answers along the lines of the next question that I have provided you, as I heard you going on about with culture and everything. So the next question I want to ask is, what makes the public market unique to the culture of Worcester?
Oh, I love that question, and I know I kind of touched on it, but it pulls together. If you think about Worcester, Zach, it's a lot of people that live in Worcester. There's a cross section of people. There are older folks that have been here their whole lives, and they might be part of or descendants of families that are either, Irish or Italian or, Portuguese, could be anything. But there's also a lot of young people, millennials and different generational groups that are new to the city, but they're here because they find Worcester to be an interesting place, cost effective to live in. The property, the real estate is not expensive. When you see people from Boston coming to Worcester to buy property, it's because we're half the price of property anywhere near Boston. And in the travel time is nothing. You can jump on a train and be in Boston in half an hour or in your car. So you've got an influx of more and more people of different cultural backgrounds. A lot of different cultural backgrounds are represented in the city. And what I like about the offerings of the Worcester Public Market is we have these restaurants and these food vendors that are from those parts of the world. They're from those countries. Like we've got people here from Jamaica, Africa, Ireland. We've got people here from Thailand. We've got people here from Mexico. They're food vendors. Japan. They're from those countries, and they're offering their food that they make. Very, very, very unique to the area and really indigenous. I mean, the food tastes different. If you have a taco from Taqueria del Pueblo in the Worcester Public Market, I promise you it tastes nothing like any taco you've had in any taco restaurant or even, of course, in any mainstream taco franchise chain. It's very different, and it's very, very good. And the prices are reasonable, too. And these are all families that work in these various restaurants that are there to sort of old school style promote what they do out of a sense of pride and ambition. And, they want to assimilate to the American culture. They know it's still a melting pot, but they want to raise their flag, their heritage, and show people what they do. And they're proud of what they do, and they should be proud of what they do. If you come to this market, and I can walk you around, you'd be amazed at what's offered here. And you'd put it in your calendar to come here, every 2-3 days just to try something new.
And I think that's what's great about the Worcester Public Market is it showcases the diversity of Worcester, and it highlights the diversity of Worcester. People might assume Worcester's got a lot of cultural diversity, but they don't really know it until they walk the neighborhoods. And I've had people come into the Worcester Public Market that I know that live in the Canal District, and they're always walking the neighborhoods and just, stopping in to see different vendors, different restaurants, different businesses. They know all the ins and outs of the Canal District and Worcester, and they're impressed by the Worcester Public Market, the diversity and the culture that exists here.
So we're going to move on to the next question here. Do you think that the public market will support smart growth in Worcester? And if so, how?
Absolutely. I'll tell you, there's a really neat thing going on here. Worcester Public Market is, of course, the ground floor of a building that's got 3 more floors above it, and those are all market rate residences. What's happening is all of those residences have been rented, 48 nice apartments, market rate, affordable, a little bit more expensive than some apartments in the area, but less expensive than others, so they're market rate. And what we've seen is some of our vendors who have restaurants in the Worcester Public Market, small restaurants, I'm talking about 200 square feet, 300 square feet, have rented apartments upstairs because they want to be close to their business, and they relocated their habitats where they live to the Canal District in Kelley Square. So talk about smart. This is and eco-friendly. These people used to drive in all the time. Now they don't. They walk from their apartment upstairs. They get in the elevator. They come downstairs. They go to work in their restaurant. And some of their staff who are family members, they do the same thing. A lot of people walk to this place from where they live. They've gotten residences nearby. If they don't live upstairs, they live nearby. So they're coming into the building, and they're not using fossil fuel. They're not using cars. They're using public transportation more, which is great because it adds vibrancy and movement to the city. It shows a real sense of urban growth. And the other thing is, a lot of these businesses right here in the Worcester Public Market are attracting people from different parts, different cities that are contiguous, different towns that are contiguous to Worcester, like Grafton, Sutton, Oxford, Auburn, Shrewsbury, Westboro, Southboro, and they're coming in on the train, and they're coming in on buses to check out Worcester's new retail marketplace. So it's becoming a neighborhood builder. It's becoming an identity piece within a neighborhood that brings people in, and in a convenient and efficient way, meaning using public transportation, or the people that live here and work here, or work in this building and own a business in this building, are taking up residences upstairs in this building. So it's a real convenient and eco-friendly destination, I think. And I'll tell you, we even have one business in here called K-Sense, S-E-N-S-E, K-Sense. The idea behind this business is they're featuring and focusing on all eco-friendly products that are substitutes for the regular disposable items that we use every single day. And this place is actually one of many businesses that focuses on an eco-friendly model in this building. I mean, we have a leather manufacturer in this building that is a craftsman. He does everything by hand. He makes all the leather products. He just doesn't use machines. He just does it by hand on his workbench. He makes beautiful products that you swear you would see in, say, Neiman Marcus or something like that. But they're right here. He makes them right here on Green Street. His name is Alan James and Company. That's the name of the business. He uses nothing but his tools, his hands, no fuel, no burning of anything. It's completely green. Yeah, it's just great. It's just real old-fashioned craftsmanship that I think a lot of people miss and are now seeing it again. So even our pasta guy, Zach, is making handmade pasta. It's all handmade, He's not buying it from a plant that manufactures pasta by the pallet. He's making it himself. He's using flour and eggs and water, and he's making his pasta himself every single day he's here, and people are buying it, pulling up to the curb. He's bringing it out, and they're buying it from the curbside right now during the pandemic. It's awesome. It's just a very old school, old-fashioned, nostalgic, green, eco-friendly business all the way around.
That's wonderful. That is absolutely brilliant, I would say, for myself here. And speaking of the pandemic here, I know that there have been some concerns in regards to what is happening right now. And the next question does focus on that. So how is the business of the public market affected by the pandemic of COVID-19?
Oh yeah, it's impacted. I've been in touch with all of our vendors routinely, and very, very fortunately, they're all still doing well. Their health is good, and their finances, while they're constrained, they're still healthy enough and withstanding the economic turmoil of the pandemic. So they're looking forward to coming back to the Worcester public market once we get the go-ahead from the governor to reopen. And they're still in a financial position to come back and reopen their businesses, which is great to hear. Because they're, the owner of the Worcester public market, there are two owners. It's a small corporation made up of two gentlemen. One of them is called is Ray Quinlan, and he's a great developer of initiatives like this. He's sort of the guy who knows how to execute the construction and things like that. And the other guy is the visionary, Alan Fletcher, who's no stranger to Worcester. People know him. He used to own the Worcester Magazine, Worcester Business Journal, and he's a big advocate for the Canal District. He's a big supporter of this part of the city, and it was his vision to have a market like this so that people could come here every single day, buy what they need, buy fresh produce. We've got a farm here, Stillman's Farm, buy fresh food, buy whatever they need that's grown locally. It's one part of our market called the Market Pantry, and it features produce items, food items, all kinds of homemade items, even non-food items that are made locally. Everything made or grown locally within Massachusetts and Connecticut, different farms nearby. And it was his vision to have a market where everything could be done in this way, where people could buy locally grown product. So he's very sensitive to the plight of people who are closing their business, and he's given everybody a break, and they're not paying rent while we're closed. And that's helping everybody to stay in tune with their mission of having a business in this place. It's convincing them to come back and come back stronger, and it gives them a little bit of flexibility economically, save some money while you're if you're able to in this turmoil, and then come back stronger because you don't have to lay out money for rent while we're closed. So Alan is he's really sensitive to all these business owners here, and he appreciates the fact that they came into the Worcester public market to execute their dreams of being a small business owner. And I'll tell you, it does have an impact, the pandemic, no question about it. A couple of the businesses are continuing on and doing curbside service. They're attracting patrons via the internet and Facebook and everything. And those people are coming in and still buying items, from the street, that is. They're calling, they're emailing, they're posting their orders, and like Pasta Mani, which is our pasta maker that I mentioned earlier. He's pretty busy, and he's just making pasta day in and day out and filling orders. Stillman Farms, they're serving the public. People are looking to buy things. I get calls every day saying, geez, I'm going to come down and pick up my order for this or that. And it's nice. It's nice to know that we're still a destination, even through all of this pandemic, where people find it valuable and useful to come down and buy things that they're going to need, rather than go through the supermarkets. They'd rather come here. It's become a family. We're in here all the time. We see each other, we greet each other, we're friendly to each other, we help each other. I've noticed that a lot of the businesses in this place, for example, if there's a restaurant that does prepared foods, cooked foods, they'll, in most cases, use the raw product that one of our other patrons, like Stillman Farms or somebody else, or, Smith Country Cheese or Hillcrest Apiary that does all fresh honey products, They'll use their honey from Hillcrest. They'll use the cheese from Smith Country Cheese Farm. They'll use the produce from Stillman's, and they'll make their finished prepared foods for the public with all these locally grown, locally sourced items. It's really cool because it's like a partnership, you know? Everybody's supporting each other, buying from each other. I think we eventually will, but in phases, Zach. Once Alan Fletcher, our owner, and decides exactly when to open, and right now we're anticipating it's going to be June 1st. The idea behind that June 1st opening is that we want to be able to open in stages. You know, like maybe we won't open every single day the way we have been open in the past, because what happens then is that you push the vendors in the Worcester public market to buy enough goods, food, supplies from their vendors to be open that many days. And for example, if we're open Tuesday, Wednesday, and we're not busy because people are still dipping their toe in the water and just trying to see if they're really comfortable coming back out into the world, you know, people in this market, vendors in this market might not be busy, and they don't want to buy and commit dollars to buying products that they're not going to sell. So we might open slowly, 3-4 days a week to start with, and kind of take the temperature of the public. And then if the demand is increasing the way we expect it to, we'll open the full 6 days a week that we're normally open. In the meantime, we're going to have a great enhanced policy for cleanliness. That way we are doing things that really impart a sense of comfort and security to our patrons. When they come in here, they'll know this place is being cleaned constantly. We have floor managers on duty, 2 at a time in the Worcester Public Market, that just move around and clean and disinfect door handles, railings, surfaces, floors, you name it. They're always cleaning. And we're going to put into place a solid policy where it's going to be noticeable for patrons to see how we take their health very seriously by keeping this place clean, and if at all possible, free of any possibility of a germ or anything like that. We're very serious about it. And we do have a full-time cleaning company that's in here every single day too, doing all the surfaces and the floors. They come in early in the morning, and then our floor managers take it from there throughout the day. They keep all the surfaces very clean and disinfected, tabletops, everything. So we're looking at opening slowly, Zach, when we do open, probably 3-4 days a week. And then, as we get rolling and we see the urgency and the response from the public increase, we'll open, 5 days, 6 days, and we'll be back to normal, but it'll probably take a series of phases, a series of weeks before we're up to full normal operations like we used to be. But the good news is, since we opened February 6th and closed March 15th, we've seen in that just over a month period, there's a tremendous amount of interest in this place. We've had people in here filling the market on the weekends. We've even extended our hours. Saturday, we normally open at 11, but we were opening last, 3-4 weeks, opening at 9 a.m. because people are standing outside looking to get in. There's a lot of interest, a lot of excitement around the market. People love to be here. So we anticipate that we'll be back to normal probably by the middle of June, end of June, I would think. Complete normal.
Once again, I want to thank you again for taking your time on this matter, and stay safe out there.
Yeah, you too. Congratulations on the project. From the perspective of somebody who's really interested in the vibrancy of the city of Worcester, I want to say I think it's very admirable what you're doing to help promote the future of this city of ours. I got to say thank you for that. It's very nice of you to spend your time, your talent doing it.